So, you want to get into Star Wars Unlimited, but you have no idea where to start. Well, here's the video for you, because we're going to go through everything that you need to play the game, everything which is just a quality of life purchase for the game, and all the extras which I just consider bougie purchase, not needed, but just a bit of fun. So let's start off with the absolute essentials that you need to play the game. I would say the very first purchase anyone should make is definitely a Spotlight deck. I prefer them to the starter decks as they are more competitive and come with a pack, which is great. The quality of the Spotlight decks are actually really good. You can get away with playing them at your local store very easily, and with a couple of adjustments you could definitely even make it to a PQ and do just fine. A good example is the Boba Spotlight deck. So once you get one of those, I would argue it is a necessity to sleeve your cards, because yes, you can play with non-sleeves, but your cards are going to get bad, and if you then decide to carry on in the future, you're going to regret not sleeving those cards. Also, sleeves are super cheap. You can pick up a pack of sleeves for like £5 and you will not regret the purchase. They are, in my opinion, a necessity for the game. Luckily, there are so many cool options you can get specifically for Star Wars Unlimited. Another absolute must would be a deck box. Unfortunately, the Spotlight decks don't come with a deck box, so you will need to get one. I highly recommend one because transportation, you don't want to be just carrying around in a loose deck. You want to be able to put it in a deck box, put it in your bag, and then be able to transport it. Another item which I was so close to not putting on this list, but I do think it is a necessity, would be a playmat. I just think they are needed. Technically, you don't have to have one. However, I would definitely invest in one, being the last priority in that list of the beginner tier. Which brings me on to my next category, which is the non-essentials, but more of the quality of life. Now, this is a TCG, and arguably one of the most fun aspects is opening packs. So I can't say not to open packs, but I would say is get all of those things first, and then you can start thinking about getting individual packs and stuff like that. Now you're actually playing the game and you're ready for a bit more flavor, I definitely recommend just opening a couple of packs and seeing what you get. At this point, you know how to play the game. You've got a deck, you've got a deck box, you've got sleeve, you've got playmat, you've got everything you already need to play. I'd recommend going to drafts and going to pre-release events. These will most likely be held at your local game store, and I guarantee you will not regret it. You build up your library of cards by opening packs, also putting those packs to use, so you're not opening them for no reason. On top of that, you're building decks with them, you're learning how to build decks, you're learning about all the new cards, and you might even win some prizes whilst you're there. I guarantee the community at your local game store will love having you there playing some games. For example, last week I was playing with a guy who doesn't really come down that often. His name was Luke. We had such a fun game, which reminds me, make sure you stay to the end because I will be talking about some goodies that my local game store has given me to give to you guys to help me grow as a channel. So stay tuned until the end to see how to enter to win some of the goodies. At this point, I would say if you wanted to spend a little bit more cash, you've done some events, you're building up a library of cards, you've got your deck box, you've got your playmat. I'd go for the tokens because the tokens are such a quality of life improvement for the game. The paper ones are just not as good. I mean, the plastic ones they just feel bare, they just are bare. I would then even potentially think about double sleeving my deck. That's only if you've actually got some valuable cards in there that you really do not want to get damaged. Something else that I definitely would recommend is getting a better deck box, such as this one. A deck pod, they are so good. They are so much better than the other deck boxes. I don't blame anyone for starting off on the just a plastic one, because they are pretty good, but I would definitely improve to a deck pod. It's not a necessity, but it is definitely a quality of life improvement, which will just make the overall experiences better. Which brings me on to my next section, which is just you wanting to splash some cash. You got some spare, you got everything I've just mentioned, but you just want more. I can't think of something that fits that category more than Carbonite boosters. I couldn't stress enough, do not buy a Carbonite booster if you have not bought everything I've just mentioned, because they don't bring you any more value in terms of your collection or your playing ability or anything like that than a normal booster. They're purely cosmetic, and if you're going for the chase cards, I don't blame you if you want to do that, because I do it myself, but do not go out and spend £25 on a Carbonite booster as the first thing you do, because that's just probably the worst decision you can do if you want to get into the game as quick and as affordable as possible. This is when I'd be looking to get a full-on booster box as well. You can make an argument about a booster box being a little bit more essential, just to build up your library of commons and uncommons, but what I would do if you needed those common or uncommons would be to buy the singles, buy them bulk online, Even go to your local TCG and see if they've got any bulk that they'll give to you. A lot of local game stores do. Mine does. Mine's got binders full of cards that you can just go and have a look, buy individual cards. So if you don't have them in your library, you can go and buy them from the store. Another bougie purchase, which I recommend, I absolutely love it. I just picked one up for myself, is a life tracker. Definitely not needed because obviously you can use dice or any other type of thing to keep your life. They are purely aesthetic, however, I'd say they're worth it. Now, if you're the opposite to this and you don't want to spend any money, then I'd recommend going to your local game store because you can get promo cards, you can get tokens, you can get deck boxes, you can get so much stuff from just actively partaking in your local game store's events that I guarantee it will be worth it. The amount of free stuff that you can get from entering your events is insane. You get promo cards, you get OPE packs, you can get deck boxes, you can get initiative tokens, you get so much stuff for free for just actively being part of the community. Which brings me on to something that I mentioned earlier. My local game store managed to get me so many freebies to give away to you guys to help me grow, which was so nice of them. So if you want to be in a chance of winning 2 token deck boxes, if you want a chance to win it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment below, and at the end of the month, I will pick a random subscriber. I'll get in contact with them and I'll give it away. If you want to buy anything I've just mentioned, I'd recommend Tritex Games. They are great, they're amazing, great prices, super friendly. They're really passionate about Star Wars Unlimited and want to grow the community as much as I do. So I could not recommend them enough. That's all for today. See you in the next video.